Hello, this is Tony Heller from realclimatescience.com. A few months ago, the Deputy Director for Climate and the Environment at the White House was banned by the National Academy of Sciences. Lubchenco edited a paper that was retracted in October 2021 because the data underlying the analysis was not the latest available and because she has a personal relationship with one of the authors, her brother-in-law. Her integrity is very poor, so it's not surprising she's heading up integrity policies at the White House. I was surprised to see this story because Lubchenco has been engaged in massive scientific fraud for many years. She headed up the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration during the Obama-Biden administration. This is a document she produced in the year 2009. Global Climate Change Impacts in the United States. I'll ignore the fact that the title of the document doesn't make any sense and get right down to the content. The number of days with high temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit is projected to increase throughout the United States, as illustrated in the maps at the left. Parts of the South that currently have 60 days per year with temperatures above 90 degrees Fahrenheit are projected to experience 150 or more days a year above 90 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century, under a higher emissions scenario. They're saying there's going to be a huge increase in the number of 90-degree days depending on how much carbon dioxide there is in the atmosphere. Let's take a look at their maps. The first map is recent past 1961 to 1971 average. So we might ask, why did they start their analysis in 1961? The United States has excellent records going back to the 19th century. And Jane Lubchenco was in charge of the agency which controlled that data set. If we take a look at the complete data set, you can see why she began her analysis in 1961. In the years prior to 1961, there were a lot more 90-degree days in the United States than there has been over the past 60 years. The trend in 90-degree days in the United States is sharply downwards, which wrecked her story, so she hid all the data prior to 1961. The data from her own agency showed that as carbon dioxide increased in the atmosphere, the number of 90-degree days in the United States decreased. And this graph is right off of the NOAA website. It shows a sharp decrease in the number of 95-degree Fahrenheit days in the United States over the past 90 years. It's pretty clear why she hid all of her own data prior to 1961. This graph shows only the data after 1960. Even if you exclude the data prior to 1961, there's little or no evidence of a significant upwards trend. Her whole story was a complete fraud. And she said parts of the South that currently have about 60 days per year with temperatures above 90 are projected to experience 150 or more days a year above 90. Her map showed a sharp increase in the number of 90-degree days in Tennessee. But the data from Tennessee shows the exact opposite. Prior to 1961, Tennessee had a lot more 90-degree days than they do now. Once again, she's telling the exact opposite story of what her own data set showed. She was sanctioned for using an old data set and editing her brother-in-law's paper. But apparently it's okay with the National Academy of Sciences that she's engaged in a massive fraud which is leading the world into energy and food poverty. And despite her low integrity, the White House has put her in charge of developing scientific integrity policies across government agencies. H.L. Mencken said, "The most dangerous man to any government is the man who is able to think things out without regard to the prevailing superstitions and taboos. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable." Toto's been barking about this madness for the past 14 years. You can visit him, Kyrie Caesar, Toki, and Upla on the web at realclimatescience.com.